you want to attract, engage, and retain brilliant employees into your organization? Offer them a mind-blowing benefits package that shows that you care about them. All right, so here we are with Eric Pearson from Vacation Fund. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, so this is one interview in a series that I'm doing with different organizations that are disrupting their industry, and so great to have Eric on today from Vacation Fund. So why don't we start off, just tell us a little bit about you, your journey. Who is Eric Pearson?
Yeah, absolutely. So out of school, I went right into finance. I went into capital markets. I loved aspects of sales and trading. I grew up a competitive athlete, so the trading floor environment sort of reminded me of a competitive sports environment.
Yes.
But at some point, I just sort of looked around and I said, okay, what do the next 10 years look like? Where's my next really big goal? And I saw some other people a little further along in their careers, but then I said, okay, well, what am I excited to work towards? And so I considered, for anyone that knows the finance industry, I considered going to write my CFA.
Right.
And then I went as far as buying the books, and then I refunded the purchase within 24 hours because I said, yeah, exactly. I said, I don't think that's what I want to work hard for.
Right.
So I found all of the how to start a startup stuff. I found all of the Y Combinator materials. I found everything from Silicon Valley that I could get my hands on. And one of the lessons that stood out to me was don't start a startup unless you are so passionate about solving the problem that you can't not do it.
Right.
And so I took that to heart and I said, okay, what do I want to help the world do? Or what do I want to help bring into the world? And
yeah, so what did that look like? How did you land on the concept for Vacation Fund?
Yeah. So it was interesting because I looked at my upbringing, really, and I said, my dad is one of those people. He's what I like to call a millennial before millennials. He was all about spending money on experiences, not stuff. So he saved money anywhere he could, but then he also took us traveling 3 times a year, which I think I thought that was normal at one point in my life, and I grew up and I realized that's not normal. It's really expensive. So we were staying in hostels. We did house swaps, but a lot of the time we were traveling 3 times a year. So by the time I turned 22, I'd been to over 40 countries.
Wow. Incredible experiences, though.
It was insane. And I look back and I'm like, I had the best upbringing I think I possibly could have.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, he's the real hero in all of this. So I just thought he was really good at prioritizing time and money in a way that made us really, really happy.
So you remembered this. This was your experience growing up. But then how did you still say, I can make a business out of this?
Yeah, I really wasn't sure that I could at first, but I saw some people joining these bucket list platforms. I'm a very visual person. I have a vision board. I'm all aspirational. I believe in sort of visualizing what you like to accomplish or want to accomplish in your life. And so I saw people joining these bucket list platforms, Bucket Dream, Bucket Listy. There were a handful of them. And I said, this is great. People are setting and accomplishing goals. They're checking it off as they go. That's awesome. But a lot of people had on their bucket list a safari. And that's one of the trips that I never did because it's so expensive.
Yes.
So I said, people need to start saving for these things or else they're going to go through life and they're never going to get to go. Or they'll go and they'll be $10,000 in debt because of the trip. So I said, okay, I need to help people save for the things that actually really make them happy. And so I just wanted people to save. And I know that you can set up different savings accounts within your financial institution, for example, but that to me, it's too easy to pull money out, or you don't feel like, yeah, exactly. Or you don't feel like, oh, if I pull money out of here, there's nothing to remind you, hey, you've just made this future trip less attainable, or you've taken away from it.
Right. So Vacation Fund, it involves the employer though, right? So how does that work?
Yeah. So we started it out just to be a consumer-facing platform, B2C, financial technology, automated savings tool.
Right.
And then I really started asking people. Thankfully, I'd taken a user experience design course that really teaches you to figure out what problem you're solving.
Excellent. Very important.
It was. I'm glad I did enough reading and enough sort of learning up front to know that I had to be asking that question. What pain point are we really addressing? Because it's very easy to hear about something like vacation fund and say, oh, that sounds like a nice to have. That sounds like a vitamin, not a painkiller.
Right.
So I started to ask people, okay, what prevents you from going on vacation? And 50% of people said, I don't have the budget. And the other 50% said, I'm actually really hesitant to take time off work. There was, and it was so many, what I bucketed under workplace uncertainty, so many reasons. I don't want to come across as entitled. I don't want to let my colleagues down. I want to prove how committed I am. I don't want work to pile up. I don't want to be perceived as a slacker. There were so many reasons. But at the same time, we're in an ever-connected world now, and if people don't take time off, then that...
I actually saw a report, I think yesterday I was reading, that said something like 31 million vacation days go unused in Canada every year. That's insane.
It's insane. It's insane. And it's something that's a part of your compensation and a part of being an employee for a company. It's an expectation to take some time off. We're more productive than we've ever been. But at the same time, we're working more hours than we've ever worked. So I think it's very easy to forget, hey, I can be productive every single day. My phone is on me all the time. My laptop or my tablet is with me all the time. So it's easy to be productive every single day. But at the same time, if you don't take yourself out of these routines, then you're probably missing out on some untapped sort of creativity or innovation or some sort of insight that can actually come from rest or new experiences.
And just the fact of getting recharged and come back to be more productive.
Yeah, exactly.
So how exactly does vacation fund work? What does it look like?
Yeah, so when we were considering saying, okay, maybe this is an employee benefit, and we wouldn't have considered that, like from an employee perspective, it's an obvious value proposition. But I've had some people say, okay, what's in it for the employer? Like certain employers get it, that time off is important and that burnout is actually happening, and some employers are less receptive.
Right.
But certain companies, I said, okay, are there any companies in the world that are helping fund employee vacations, and are they seeing results by doing this?
Right.
And so I found 12 companies across the United States that were doing what they called paid vacations, paid time off, that the company was also cutting a check to help fund something cool to do with that time off.
The concept was there,
The concept was there, and these companies are writing articles saying this is the best strategy we've ever had to attract people or retain people or keep people energized. So I said, okay, employers are going to put money towards this. Not everyone can afford to cut a massive check. What if there's some level of accountability from the employee? So we said, okay, let's turn Vacation Fund into an employer-matched vacation saving platform.
Right.
So employees... Exactly. So that pivot happened early 2018. We ran some pilots throughout 2018, and our clients just said, we've never seen a benefit get this kind of opt-in before.
Wow, that's great. So it works very similar then to like an RRSP or pension matching contribution.
Yeah, exactly. And generally our clients are doing a 50% match, capped at anywhere between $10 a paycheck and $50 a paycheck.
Right.
So from a company perspective, as long as they had an opportunity to factor it into the budget, it's not that big and either an additional expense or offered instead of something else. We've had a lot of those conversations. Right. The main idea is just like make the employee accountable to save towards their time off. And employees just love the forced savings component of something coming directly off their paycheck.
Right.
And then
this is not to say saving for retirement isn't important and those other, but so is today. So is your life now, right? So
exactly.
Are people seeing that balance and they're contributing to both?
Yes, yeah, we've been very intentional around really telling people we don't want to give people an option. It's either retirement savings or vacation
Right.
fund, because I am a frugal individual and a long-term saver myself, and that's
Right.
fundamentally flawed. It is not right for me to tell someone to put money towards the short term where there's no tax advantage
Right.
versus saving for the long term where there is. So thankfully, most of our clients are doing a retirement savings match already, and they're
Perfect.
just saying, what else can we do to differentiate ourselves? Either, hey, when we go do campus recruiting, we love now seeing people's faces light up when we tell them we put money towards their vacations.
Right.
Or we just want to help improve employee engagement and employee excitement and loyalty around, okay, this is what my company is doing for me. My company is helping me live the best version of my life.
Right.
And then there are other companies that actually have an unused vacation day problem, and they need this to reduce the liability on their balance sheet.
I think that same report I read said that millennials are actually the worst for not using their vacation. Any thoughts on why that is?
Yeah, I think as a millennial myself, I think early in our careers we sort of got labeled entitled. And
Mm,
so a lot of people, especially a lot of people that are really hardworking and really ambitious, are fighting against that initial perception, trying to
right.
say, look, we're still early in our careers. We're trying to show how committed we are. We know we have the ability to always be on if we choose to be. Let's prove ourselves. So for a lot of people, it's just proving themselves or saying, look, I know that time off and recharging is important, but I'm trying to show that I'm more committed than everyone else. Like,
Yeah.
it ends up becoming, how are you proving yourself?
Right. It's an overcompensation for that stereotype. So switching gears quickly then for a second, you started up this company. You're a few years in now. What's that been like, and how would you describe your leadership style?
Oh man, so I'm reading an incredible book right now by Adam Grant called Give and Take.
Love it. Great book.
It's incredible. And if anything, it's helping me justify more of my leadership style. So I am an optimist and generally a sort of a giver or someone that's more generous with my time. And yes, there it is. I love it. I love it so much. And so if anything, it's just helping me say to myself, okay, I can still make time to give back to others. I can still make time to help others get through the first few years of their company. I don't
Yeah.
know everything, but I know how to get through the first couple of years. And so
Wow.
I prefer to do that, and I would prefer to win and lift everyone else up around me. Like, there are so many people that this would not have been
Excellent.
possible without, and so
Yeah.
I think I deserve a very small fraction of the credit.
Right.
I maybe initially came up with the idea, and ever since then I've just been harnessing resources,
Good
like
for you.
pulling in amazing people that can help do this with me. And I say to my team all the time, like, we should be doing things we care about with people we like. And that to me is, if we're doing that, then we're being successful. And I love my team. I think it's a privilege to get up and work on something that I care about every day with some really amazing people. And any way that I can give back, although my time is relatively limited right now, I like to.
Wow.
So there have also been amazing people that have just helped, even just people that have helped fund us up front, or people that have given us their time without an expectation of anything in return. Like, those are the kinds of people that have made a huge impact on our ability to sort of get to where we are today.
Right.
So
Yes. Wow. Well, I guess it shows. I mean, that's the whole reason for a vacation fund, is you want to have people take their vacation. You want to give them that opportunity. So it makes sense that being a giver would be your leadership style. And yeah, the Give and Take book is incredible. So
yeah,
talk about employees. Here's the benefit of taking your vacation. You talked about employers. You can differentiate yourself in the employee experience market by using something like vacation fund. What about your advice for other entrepreneurs or business owners out there? What would you have to say to them?
I think for me, I've finally come to terms with the fact that it's so important to enjoy the process, to enjoy the journey, because it's so easy to spend all your time focusing, looking ahead and setting these big targets, especially when you've had to talk to different people about longer term vision and targets and
Yes.
what does this company look like 10 years from now. I mean, it's so easy to just live in the future,
Right.
but that can be really draining. And so I think enjoying the journey and doing this again, like with people you like, is so important. Because I look back, I mean, this took way longer than I initially thought it would to get to a point where I'm like, okay, we have a business, we're doing something, people are buying, we're solving a pain point. It took so much longer to get here than I thought it would. But at the same time, if I look back, there is nothing that I would have rather been doing in the last 2.5, 3 years of my life.
Great.
Yeah.
Enjoy the journey. Again, kind of goes right along with vacation fund. Enjoy your time now. Take some vacation. If you're an entrepreneur, enjoy the process and the journey. Well, thank you so much, Erica. It's been great talking to you. If people want to know more about Vacation Fund, I believe it's vacationfund.io is your website.
Absolutely.
There. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time.
You too. Thank you.
Bye.